I've got the chills right now because I've been waiting for this information for God knows how long. You guys both know we've been talking about this. We were live that day, that fateful day in Butler, Pennsylvania, and President Trump just now talked about what's going to happen with that investigation. And it is absolutely groundbreaking. I can't wait to share that with you. Also, he talks about Zelensky and Ukraine in a very earnest I mean, he's always been transparent. What I love about him is his raw authenticity. I think a lot of you guys appreciate that about me in this show as well. I never use a script. I never use a teleprompter. I'm not bragging. I'm just saying I think that's kind of what you guys like about our show is I do all my digging. I act like a sponge off camera, absorbing all my research and investigative reporting. And then when I hit record, I deliver, hopefully with all my work being imbued in who I am. And this was a really almost, there was a little note of, it was just so raw. I can't even describe it, but the way he was talking about Zelensky and Ukraine, there was almost even a hint of remorse and sadness. And dare I say, I've always said President Trump, does he say a lot of things, like every man on planet Earth, we all have what I like to call foot and mouth syndrome. I know my wife can attest to that. Of course. Does he say things from time to time, even though I pretty much love 99.99% of everything he says? But are there times where he says things? Yeah, of course. He's a man. But I've always said he has a heart of gold. And the way that he speaks about Ukraine and Zelensky, I can't wait to share this clip. It's very moving. I think I'm starting to even get like goosebumps on my arm right now as I talk about it. I can't wait to share that with you. Stick around. But first, this is really huge news. President Trump, following through on his promise, has cut $400 million of funding from Columbia University over anti-Semitism. I'm sure you guys have seen the footage. I'm not going to share it with you here because it's just offensive, it's rude, it's vulgar, it's violent, but essentially you've got a cacophony of students who are acting literally like terrorists on campuses all over. As somebody, this really hits close to home with me as somebody who, but I don't just call myself professor for kicks and giggles. I used to do this. That's why this channel, I know these people. I know the Obamas. I know the Kamalas. I know they're all academics in politicians' clothes. Trust me, they're all narcissistic egomaniac. That you will never find an ego bigger than an academic. I've seen this firsthand. I know these people. I've looked into their dark black souls. I know exactly where they're coming from. And so this has been fomented. These are not higher ed educational institutions. These are indoctrination camps. And the people who are indoctrinating them have clear, very, very distinct ideologies, and they all lean radically extreme to the nth degree left. We're talking left of Lenin. And so these university presidents and campuses have just allowed these students to act like straight up terrorists. This isn't about free speech. They're preventing students from going on campus. They're preventing Israeli students from going to their classes. It's literally terrorism, domestic terrorism, and these campuses do nothing. Well, Trump has had enough of it, and I couldn't be prouder. The Trump administration has canceled, like I said, $400 million in federal funding to Columbia University, citing the institution's failure to address anti-Semitism on campus. This decision follows investigations by various federal departments into the university's response to allegedly anti-Semitic activities. The cuts are described by officials as the beginning of broader measures to tackle anti-Semitism in higher education. You guys all remember what happened last year, when all the backlash of Israel retaliating against October 7th, and you had campuses all over. I did a lot of videos on this. All over America, you had the three presidents of the major Ivy League schools, Harvard, I believe it was UPenn and MIT, if I remember correctly. Claudine Gay, really, Harvard University was the worst, and where committee members asked straight up to these presidents, do you consider this anti-Semitism? And they denied it. They wouldn't even answer. It was so preposterous. And the reason they denied it was based on all this soulless academic language. But I know these people, they denied it because they don't believe it is anti-Semitic. They denied it because they actually are the ones who've indoctrinated these young people, these poor young people. This is the Mangione effect. I don't know if you guys remember, I did a very extensive analysis in Luigi Mangione. This is a guy who had every advantage America had to offer. Boarding school, private high school, private university, valedictorian. His parents were absolutely well off, living in an affluent neighborhood. He had every advantage, every silver spoon you could imagine. And where did the radicalization of his mind? And he was touted by his friends, his neighbors, when he was growing up, to be this loving kid, social, outgoing, humble, empathetic. He became so radicalized. And I'm telling you right now, that's what's happening to young people across our campuses. So God bless you, President Trump, for finally doing something about it when these universities don't. I can't wait to get your comments on this. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Okay, now I can't wait to share this video with you. Here is President Trump announcing that he will be releasing information, intelligence on the assassination attempts against his life. Watch this.
7 months. Why do you think we don't know more about the guy who shot you in the ear?
Yeah, well, and the second one with all of his cell phones. So I want to find the answers. I've told them. In fact, today I said, I want to find, we can no longer blame Biden for that one. He should have released that a long time ago. So they are giving me a report next week sometime, and I do believe I'll be releasing. I want to release the report. A lot of people have asked that question. You had one who had 3 apps, 2 of which were foreign, supposedly, and who has the biggest white shoe law firm in Pennsylvania, even though they don't live in necessarily a white shoe area. What's that all about? His law, the law firm. The other one had 7 or 6 cell phones, and I don't have 6 cell phones. And why would somebody have 6 cell phones? So we're going to be releasing a report on that soon, Peter.
But based on what you're saying right there, the lack of information and the data points that you just gave, does that make you think that there's some part of there's some bigger...
It could be. Well, it makes other people think that. It makes me think it a little bit too. I say, when you have 3 apps and 2 of them are foreign, and you had an FBI that wouldn't report on it, they didn't want to say why, I would say that could be suspicious. And then on the second assassin, you had, and by the way, I have to tell you, Secret Service did a great job on that by spotting him. But on the second one, he had 6 cell phones. That's a lot of cell phones. And a couple of them had some strange markings on them. So, yeah, I want to find out, and I would be willing to release it. I mean, maybe there's a reason that we shouldn't, so I don't want to get too far ahead of my skis, but yeah, I would be very willing to release that. I'd like to see it. I want to see it myself, Peter. Not only I want to see that one myself.
Obviously, that's a very touchy subject for him. I mean, the man hasn't slept since he has been sworn in, and he's been doing more in the past 4 or 5 weeks, 6 weeks, than Biden and Kamala did in their entire 4 years, in their entire regime. But yeah, the holes in that story, the egregiousness of how that was handled, the incompetence, the gross negligence, the fact that this guy was able to walk around, with a scope, essentially like a surveyor. He didn't look like anybody there. He wasn't wearing, kind of the red and white and blue attire that 99.99% of Trump rally goers wear. He stood out like a sore thumb. The guy was literally 100 yards away on a roof, which made no sense at all. He got a couple shots off, which made no sense at all. Somehow they scrapped all his social media. This guy was like, what, 18, 19, 20 years? Can't remember. Matthew Thomas Crooks. Ryan Rout is a whole nother story. This guy had ties to Ukrainian military training. And Trump was right. 6 cell phones and all these foreign agent apps, et cetera, et cetera. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. And all the outrage that the Democrats are having right now, when Elon Musk and Doge are going through and saving us from wasting billions and billions and dollars of studying the transgender effects of mice, billions and billions of dollars from creating Sesame Street in Iraq, and the list goes on and on. That's where they're showing outrage. They claim to be for you and me. They claim to be for America. Where is the outrage when there was literally in full, palpable 3D, actually happened physical realm? I mean, I'm saying this because, everything else you could almost chalk up to, is this really true? Is that really true? This guy has a different number. That guy hasn't. This is concrete. Our president was shot. There was an assassination attempt, the first one in modern times, in the last, 50, 70 years since Reagan, 50 years, I can't remember. Like 40 years, 40 plus years, perhaps. Where's the outrage? There was an assassination attempt on our president. There was an assassination attempt on the front runner, somebody who was leading in all polls at that time. Where was the outrage? Where's the, we need to get to the bottom of this. The American people deserve to know. We've gone through enough crap, enough lies, enough distrust and mistrust in the previous, in JFK and MLK and all the rest. God knows how many. You know what? Let's do the right thing and really get to the bottom of this. Do we agree with President Trump? No. Do we like him? Maybe even no. But guess what? This is what the American people deserve. They voted for him. He won in a mandate. He won resoundingly in a huge margin. And I think the American people, where's the outrage? No, there's no outrage. Where's the investigation? Why does Trump have the power to release this report and Biden didn't? Where was Biden? Where was Kamala? Why didn't they release anything? It happened in July of 2024. That's like 7-8 months ago. What happened? Where's the report? Doesn't that strike you as odd? Wouldn't you think they would want to get, if they, truly cared about America, never mind the fact that they are public servants, they should serve us, right? Never mind the fact that this is what the American people want. There's been committee after committee, there's been elected representatives, actual representatives fighting, clawing, writing letters, creating subcommittees, et cetera, to get as much information out of the Department of Justice when Merrick Garland was running it, okay? We didn't get any answers. Never mind the fact that legally, that this is your oath. You should be providing this. But what about you yourselves? If you truly had nothing to do with this, here's the $1 million question. If you truly had nothing to do with this, which all arrows, there's so many red flags here, but all arrows point towards the Hippocrats and the Soros-Obama cabal and Holly Weirdo, Clooney, etc. If you truly had nothing to do with this, if you truly love America, and there was an assassination attempt on your colleague, the next president of the United States, wouldn't you think that there would be a little, forget the act of service, but how about self-preservation? Wouldn't you think there'd be a little bit like, holy crap, what if they come after us? If they went after him and they almost got him, they could almost get us. Maybe we should investigate the Secret Service. Maybe we should find out what's going on. Where's the report? Where are the holes? Where's the negligence? Where's the incompetence? How come nobody's been fired? How come we still don't understand anything about these would-be so-called assassins? No, there's none of that. Where's the outrage? But no, they dare look into their slush fund. They dare look into their money laundering scheme. Holy mackerel. They're going to write songs and sing Kumbaya and yell, shut down the city and how dare you and fascist and threat to democracy. That's when they show the outrage. They've revealed themselves, America. They revealed themselves at the speech that President Trump gave in the joint address by not standing. They revealed themselves in every action and inaction. And please share this with everybody you know, because this is the truth. This is who the hypocrites, aka the Democrats, this is who they truly are. I've been saying it for how long? They don't give a damn about you. They don't give a damn about me. And they certainly don't give a damn about our country. I can't wait to get your comments on this. Let me know what you think of all this. Let me know. By the way, if you disagree with me, that's totally fine. I welcome all viewpoints. As you guys know, most of the OG Nez Nationers, you guys all know, I welcome all viewpoints as long as it's constructive, substantive. Personal ad hominem attacks and links, they all go to spam. So I don't even see them. So, but please share your viewpoint. If you say, Nez, you're wrong about this. No. They did do what they were supposed to do. Let me know in the comments down below. Okay, now, here's that moment right here. So remember, Zelensky came to the Oval Office, acted like a petulant gremlin child. You usually don't act like that when you're begging for money and you need the person that you're meeting with to help you at all costs. But he did anyway, and he blew it. Then he says, we're ready to sign. We're not ready to sign. And then Marco Rubio says, oh, yeah. He wanted to sign 6 days ago. I don't know why he even came into the Oval Office. And then Rubio looked kind of chagrined sitting there next to J.D. Vance. And there's all these talks. Well, no. They're ready to sign. He's ready. It worked, yada, yada, yada. When Trump kicked him out, Zelensky caved, etc. I did a video on that. And now it just seems like things have really fallen apart. And I want to share this clip of President Trump, who just issued some sanctions. They all want to call him Putin's puppet, right? The radical left does, at least. And he just issued some serious sanctions against Russia because Russia is bombarding Ukraine like they never have before. Watch this real heartfelt, almost I want to say, dare I say, emotional clip of Trump talking about this whole ordeal with Zelensky and Ukraine. Check this out.
Finding it more difficult, frankly, to deal with Ukraine. And they don't have the cards. They don't have the cards. As you know, we're meeting in Saudi Arabia on sometime next week, early. And we're talking, would I find that in terms of getting a final settlement, it may be easier dealing with Russia, which is surprising because they have all the cards. I mean, they're bombing the hell out of them right now. And I put a statement in, a very strong statement. Can't do that. Can't do that.
Mr. President,
we're trying to help them, and Ukraine has to get on the ball and get a job done.
I just love that raw authenticity. I love how he's so real, and so this is the most transparent administration in the history of our country. We've never seen anything like this. Imagine some, run-of-the-mill, lifetime politician answering that question. It would have been so boring, so corporate, so soulless, using the same dead language that all of these lifetime politicians who've never had a real job in their lives. See, Trump's run businesses. Trump's the guy in the trenches. Trump is the guy who makes the deals. He makes the tough calls. He talks to the tough people. He deals with real world things every single day of his life. And so that's why he comes across like this. And that's why I love him so much. And that's why he's so great for our country. He also said this too. I want to share this clip right here. He said, speaking about Nicole Wallace, who made that, you want to talk about dastardly, Al Green, that dastardly comment about DJ, that beautiful child with brain cancer who President Trump anointed with a special Secret Service induction on the night of his address. President Trump has some words for Nicole Wallace. Check this out.
Worst in CNN is MSDNC, which is the worst. And the good news is very few people watch them anymore. They have lost such credibility. And frankly, what Nicole Wallace said.
But I hope he never has to defend the United States Capitol against Donald Trump's supporters. And if he does, I hope he isn't one of the 6 who loses his life to suicide.
I've never been a fan of hers, and she's not very talented. But I'll tell you, what she said the other day about that young man is disgraceful. She should be forced to resign. And Rachel Maddow should be forced to resign. Nobody watches her anyway. I don't know if it's not possible they pay her as much money as I hear, but certainly she's lost all credibility, both of them. But what they said the other day, they should be forced to resign about that young person who is suffering.
Here, Mr. President, I could not agree more. Never mind the fact that they've been lying for decades. Never mind the fact that they've been spreading I've said it many, many times on the channel that this propagandist media has created a mass hypnosis. Everybody that you've ever gotten to an argument about the election, about Trump, about how much people have a terrible affliction of TDS, it's all because of these guys. And they haven't stopped. You think Joyless Reed is going to stop? You think Jim Acosta, who got let go, is going to stop? No, they're not going to stop. Rachel Maddow hasn't stopped. Nicole Wallace is such absolute, the biggest hack. I mean, she makes Rachel Maddow look like a Pulitzer Prize winner. Nicole Wallace has zero business being in front of a camera and microphone. She is so, I mean, she's got like two molecules in her head and they're fighting. They can't even get along to form a real constructive thought. This is a terrible, damaging, irreparable harm in some cases that they've inflicted on our country. It is such a catastrophe, such a disgrace. I can't wait to get your thoughts on this and everything else that we covered today. Make sure that you check out these videos coming up on the screen, just in case you missed them. Also, don't forget to tap my face right there to subscribe and follow. It's free. And as always, may God bless you and may God bless the USA. I'll see you soon.